Aaron, what made Rodon so dominant this evening?
Man, gosh, he was good. Just felt like he was in, we talked about how would he take the experience of the first time out. And I thought I felt like he totally applied all that. I thought he was just in complete command of himself and of his emotions. Stuff was excellent. Had swing and miss. Featured. I mean, the fastball was really good. But I thought mixed in some good change-ups too, and even threw a couple cutters in there tonight, which we haven't seen a lot of. But just started with the fastball and the command of it, and generally speaking, getting ahead and really having some swing and miss, so he's able to put guys away over and over while also being real pitch efficient. Quan puts a 9, 10, whatever pitch at bat on him right out of the chute, and retires him and just kind of was pretty dominant from there.
You mentioned he really stayed within himself, controlled his emotions. At what point in time did you realize he was kind of a different version than you saw in the first start?
I don't want to lose sight of that first start, how good I thought he was early. He was just definitely amped up. And I think that potentially, led to some fatigue or whatever, missing some spots there in that last inning. But, man, I thought he held his stuff really well. You just watched him out there with intensity, but a lot of poise. And that's what stood out.
Other questions for Aaron? We'll go to Brendan standing on your right.
Just how key was it for you guys to get on them early and not have to deal with the elite back end arms?
Yeah, I thought, we had really good at-bats. We pressured them early and didn't score those first 2 innings where we had, 4 base runners, 5 base runners. So we were able to pressure Cobb a lot. He did a good job of holding us down. Finally, Juan breaks through, and then we kept the pressure on where, I thought we took a lot of good at-bats. Didn't necessarily have that big hit again to make it a huge offensive night for us, but I thought a lot of heavy at bats again that kind of set us up and put Carlos in a good position.
And how's Rizzo?
Rizzo's good. Yeah, hand was good. I just felt like, man, I thought he was sharp, which was really good to see. Hand good, more just, but he was just kind of physically and emotionally spent there late in the game, and I kind of felt like I needed to get him out of there and want to make sure I'm managing this properly with him as we go through this, because he really hasn't been on the field in over 2 weeks, and but came through good with the hand. Expect him in there tomorrow, and thought he had some really good at bats.
Other questions for Aaron? We'll go to Ron up front, first row here on the right.
The patience in the at-bats all through the postseason and really through the season, how much did the players start with that, and how much was preached by the coaches?
I mean, I think a lot of them, that's who they are. That's what they're capable of. That's in their DNA. I mean, but, we beat that over. We hammer it, right? And they do too. We talk about that all the time. Like, just, hey, keep having good at-bats. Keep having tough at-bats no matter what's going on. Because you're going to have games where it doesn't go well, or, you don't score, you go through stretches. But it's like, man, let's just keep, you hear pass the baton a lot or things like that. But it's more just, I want to take a heavy, tough, hard at-bat, regardless of what the result is. And I feel like, by and large, through these first now 5 playoff games, we've done that. Again, we haven't totally broken through offensively, but I feel like the at-bats are where they need to be.
Is that more significant in the postseason, where the big hits are harder to come by given the pitching?
I mean, yeah, but, it can come in a lot of different ways. There's teams out, putting the ball in play helps you. Obviously putting the ball in the seats, especially when you get a couple guys out in a big spot, that can be big. But I think, by and large, our strength of our group is, making you have to work to go through us.
Go right behind Ron to Peter.
With Soto's home run, I mean, as soon as he hit it, I guess Cobb started walking guys after that. The crowd was very loud. Just how did that sort of set the tone for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it got us on the board because to that point, so he's the 11th batter there or so at that point. Again, I thought we had a lot of good at-bats. We had traffic. We probably had, to that point, 6 base runners, but had nothing to show for it. So for him to break through and get us on the board, and then I thought we continued to have good at-bats from there.
Go to Susan in the first row.
When you look at Giancarlo right now, what do you see?
Just some kind of presence in the middle of our lineup. Locked in, focused, and that's, of course, what he's capable of. I mean, that ball is absolutely nailed on a cold night, hitting it off the back of the bullpen out there. I thought he, just missed one his first AB. When we had two guys out there, hit that ball to left. I thought he got a good swing off on what I thought was a pretty good sinker from Cobb. Just missed one to right as well. Had the walk and then the homer. So just stacking quality at ABs. And when he does that, he's capable of obviously hitting one like he did tonight.
Two last ones for Aaron. Chris on your left.
Carlos's tenure has been up and down so far. When you guys signed him 2 off seasons ago, did you kind of envision these kinds of outings at the time?
Well, when you put it like that, yes. I mean that was a dominant performance in game 1 of the championship series. So that was really good to see. But again, just how in command he was. Because he is intense, he is emotional at times, and I thought he commanded all that so well, and that's what he's capable of when he's dialed in like that.
First row on your right, Aaron. We'll finish with Eric.
Aaron, what was your argument or point of discussion with Dan on the obstruction call?
Well, because originally he ruled not going to second base, so I wanted to make sure that. I also wanted to make sure it didn't hit a runner. So I was just getting some clarification, and then obviously they huddled up and ended up awarding the base. So I got to still go back and look at it and see exactly, but I was at least satisfied with how they processed it and got together at least.
Hey, Carlos, Aaron just called your outing tonight dominant. How would you describe the outing? What stands out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Austin was great behind the plate. He had a good idea of how he wanted to handle the hitters, and then defensively we had some great play out there as well from Judge and infield as well. And then the bullpen coming in and shut the door was great. And then obviously offensively we scored some runs, some big swings from Soto and Big G, and some competitive bats. And seems like we know the strike zone very well, so we played a very good game.
Second row on your right, Brian.
Carlos, you had 25 swings and misses tonight. What was just working so well for you?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was mostly fastball slider, mixed in some changeups, a couple cutters. And, like I said, I thought Austin had a good idea and good game plan, behind the plate. And, I was just, throwing to where he wanted me to throw it.
And then how much more comfortable did you feel out there compared to game 2 against Kansas?
Yeah, it was, I mean, the goal was just try to stay in control of, what I can do. Obviously physically and emotionally, and I thought I executed that well tonight.
Go to the first row on your left, Chris.
Carlos, when you signed here 2 off seasons ago, are these the kinds of performances you envisioned yourself having?
Yeah, I mean, it mostly is just the opportunity, to be able to pitch in a game like this. Yeah.
We'll go to the fifth row, the right center aisle.
Carlos, given this stage, where does this performance rank in your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there. I've never pitched in the ALCS before, so this is my first time. So I mean, there's no bigger stage in baseball. So I would say it's definitely up there.
The third row on your far left, Gabe.
Carlos, given how well you were pitching, was it challenging to kind of maintain that emotional level of just kind of being right at one level, or did you break character ever?
No, I had it under control most of the night. I watched, like I said, we had a press conference earlier before the game. I think a couple days ago, I watched Garrett throw that game 4 in Kansas City, and mentally I was taking notes on how he was going out there and going about it, and I just wanted to kind of go about it the same way, and I thought I did well at that tonight.
A second row on your right, Ryan.
You went through the 3, 4, 5 in the order in the fourth inning.
Mhm.
I think it was part of 11 in a row you set down, and then you won a 9-pitch at bat against Ramirez.
Yeah.
Your last, and you talked the other day about how tough he is.
Yeah, he's a great hitter. I mean, if you look at his numbers versus me, I mean, he's had I would say around 40 or so, probably more at bats. He's probably hitting pretty well against me. I mean, he's one of the better hitters in our game, and that last at bat against him was tough. I mean, anytime I go up against Jose, it's a tough at bat, and he puts it he puts a tough at bat up there, and he fights off tough pitches. I mean, he's such a great player. It's fortunate. Judgy ran down that ball. I mean, he hit 2 balls hard to center, and that was a goal to keep him in the center of the field or the right side of the field, and he always puts a good at bat up.
I was just going to say the fourth inning was that key after you guys scored those runs on the wild pitches to just shut him down, right? Come back.
Yeah, that was the goal, was a shutdown inning after we scored there. Go out there and put up a 0.
And we'll stay there with Peter, I think.
I know you mentioned Garrett Cole, his poker face. Just what exactly, specifically, were you able to take from him, and what's it like on the mound? What are you actually doing to hold that mindset?
Yeah, I mean, if you go, there's some big spots in that game for Garrett. I can't remember. There's runners on, and he gets out of the jam, and it's pretty even keel walking off the mound. There's no screaming. There's no fist pumping or anything. He's just, like I said, like a robot, and he walks out and walks across the line and into the dugout. Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's hard. It's just, being mindful of it and being focused on, the next pitch. And I think that kind of leads to, that robot, that good poker face.
Carlos, congrats. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We have Giancarlo here.